What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about It Takes Two, kind of give my last-minute impressions, my thoughts on this game. It releases in slightly less than 2 weeks, March 26th, and honestly, I cannot wait. I purposely held off watching a lot of the most recent stuff, even the gameplay stuff that we saw about 2-3 weeks ago. I didn't watch it up until a few days ago. The newest trailer that came out this past week, I watched it. I watched both of them right before I recorded this video. There really wasn't any doubt in my mind that I was going to get this game or that I am going to get this game. It was just like, okay, I don't really, need to see anything. If I do, great. If I don't, it's fine. And watching it just got me even more excited. I am a really big fan of this team. I'm a fan of what they've done in the past, specifically A Way Out. I love A Way Out. I really, really do. I think it's a copycat game for quite a few other games, okay? But it tries to make it its own. I think it does a really, really, I mean, it's definitely one of the underrated games, I would say, that happened, especially back in the year of release, 2018, but also just in the last several years. I definitely think so. And It Takes Two looks, I'll say this, I think It Takes Two will be better in probably every way. Maybe not emotionally, maybe not like with a twist like A Way Out had, but I think It Takes Two in every other way could easily beat it, but maybe even in the story too, because, it has to do with divorce. It probably has to do with making up, from it in some way, right? Because these two parents are divorcing themselves. The daughter basically puts them into this world, and you'd imagine that throughout the game, maybe they realize something about each other and they get back together, or maybe it's kind of like a heartbreaking thing where they do everything okay, like everything's great, and they work together and all that stuff, but they still decide like, hey, it's probably best we still separate. So I think even from a story, from like an emotional point of view, this game can still be really good. And then the gameplay, well, let's do the looks next. It looks awesome. It's a very different kind of looking game. It's trying to be a lot of different things, kind of again in the way that A Way Out was, only that this game is more focused on the smaller, like, minute-to-minute gameplay things, like, again, the mini-games that they say are throughout this. Every level is from what we see at least, very, very different, not just in terms of setting, but in terms of what you're actually going to be doing, the gameplay, the mechanics, how the level actually functions. Every level looks very diverse, and again, those are kind of the thing. I mean, A Way Out had that. There were plenty of, you could do, like, darts, you could do baseball, stuff like that. There was a lot of different stuff in A Way Out. There were things that you obviously had to make decisions on. There was, your normal sneaking around, like, stealth stuff, shooting stuff. I mean, they had kind of it all. They tried to be, and again, that's why I love A Way Out. It did falter in some ways because when you try to be so many different games in one, some of them can be lacking. You know what I mean? You like, these kind of games do have their own spirit, obviously, even with the the head guy, right? But they're still, for the most part, borrowing some things, at least in other games, and that can, I would say that can definitely overall hurt the game because not everything is up to the same, I guess, the same level, right? This game looks like it could, and this is kind of going down devil's advocate. I mean, I have very high hopes for this game. We know that this game is going to be around 12, 13, 14 hours to beat. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, A Way Out's a lot shorter than that. I feel like A Way Out is only like 5 or 6 hours, especially if you kind of speed your way through it. So It Takes Two basically being double that. It kind of does go into the line of thought of like, you can have a boring game, or if you're trying to stretch a game too far, obviously that can hurt the game overall. But again, with a game that seems to be as diverse, and this time in a really good way, that It Takes Two looks like it's doing, I think it's going to be just fine. So you have that on top of the Game Pass thing, or like your friend pass. I love that. That was a very different, especially coming from EA. Now, EA is just a publisher here, but EA is very hands-off, especially with this team. They're very hands-off with their game. They've said that before, and it's just really awesome that a company that is, I mean, look, I want to work with EA. I want, games from them going forward, stuff like that. But, I mean, let's not kid ourselves, right? They make some predatory choices with microtransactions and their sports stuff and all that stuff. I mean, they make a lot of mistakes. And maybe some of them are very knowingly that they're making mistakes. Some of them are not. But for this, I mean, these always have been good signs in that, okay, you buy the game, so if I buy the game, I get basically an extra version of the game that I can give to a friend online to play with me. Now, you can't, at least this is how A Way Out worked, you can't just give it to them and like be done with it. You have to play it with them. for me, that kind of is going to go to waste a little bit because my wife and I, now in the same, place with each other, we are going to be playing this together in the split screen. Again, A Way Out, So Spy was actually the first game. We were just boyfriend, girlfriend back then, and we played online. I had it, gave that extra version to her. We played it. We absolutely loved it. So, I have such fond memories of A Way Out. I really hope It Takes Two is super, super good. It looks good. It looks like, to be honest with you, like Hitman 3 right now is my game of the year by like a lot. It's such a good, Little Nightmares 2 actually is insanely good too, but those games are so great. It Takes Two, it does have to be good in order to beat those games, but I don't really see any reason how this couldn't. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of potential here for this game to be potentially game of the year, and we're only in the late March, but it's a game that's cheap. It's $40. I'm not doing like a sales pitch on you, but March is a very dead month in terms of games. There's been movies, there will be movies that are coming out this month, but in terms of games, there's really next to nothing, okay? Unless you play Watch Dogs, in which case you got the multiplayer, but that's it. So, at least in my opinion. So for me, It Takes Two is kind of the shining star. It would be very disappointing if the game flat out sucks because it's like, okay, I've waited throughout this entire dead month, and then all of April to me is very dead too until Returnal comes out April 30th. So like this is the game that I'm going to be playing probably for 2 to 3 days, and hopefully it, satisfies, kind of my thirst for this kind of game. I really do think it will, though. So I'm insanely excited. I cannot wait to play it. Really quickly, I guess just to end this, I don't normally do this for these kind of videos, but maybe I should start. In case you guys were wondering about the content side of it, we will be covering it quite a bit. So I may not do a review score predictions for it. Maybe I will. We'll see how you guys kind of react to this video, but we will be live streaming It Takes Two. I'll probably do a review on it. We'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 other videos on the game in general. So that weekend, March 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, in that range, late March, there will be a bunch, probably 3 to 5 videos and a live stream on this game. So very, very excited to do that. It's been a while since I've covered a game, like for multiple videos when the game's actually up, because no games actually are releasing anymore, but I'm very pumped for this game. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? Have you watched, any of this kind of game? Is it maybe not the kind of game for you? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. If you want to follow me on any of my other social media stuff, I have a Twitch, I have a Discord, I have a second channel, and I have a Twitter. All of that stuff is in the description below if you guys want to check it out. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.